back to another episode of the Hooligans Pitch, episode 67, coming at you live. What's up, Chad?
What is up? It's the total eclipse day.
Oh, we're blacking out.
So, vibes are a little strange today, maybe. Who knows?
I could agree with that. I think vibes are pretty strange all weekend. Didn't have a grumpy Sunday, but things were just a little off. It was an off weekend.
It's fair.
I've been dying to crack this brew. I'm dying to vent to you. I've almost said nothing. I've almost not really even talked to you about anything that has happened this weekend. It's been a busy weekend, but regardless, this has been in the back of my mind. So let's hash it out. Let's get through the grittiness. I'm gonna start. I'm drinking a Deschutes Tropical Fresh IPA. Kind of matches my sweatshirt here, almost blending in.
I almost went with that one, but I went for the fresh squeezed.
So just a little couple Deschutes boys.
Yeah. Look, New Belgium had a chance. Yeah, New Belgium, you still have a chance to sponsor us.
We're not throwing
Deschutes. You can also
step in, step up.
Yeah.
We're going to the Liverpool glass today because it's time to believe.
That's it.
It's time to believe. Terrible pour on my port right now. I'm not even going to show you because this is, this is kind of just, this is how the weekend was, Chad. This is exactly how things went.
Yeah, damn. First time pouring a beer, huh?
It's probably my fifth time seeing a 5v2 be absolutely bottled.
Yes.
Chad.
So we're starting there, it sounds like.
I think we should. I think this was the game that had everyone's attention.
Yeah.
It was. I remember last spring, I couldn't watch the Man U Liverpool game, but I got every text update from you saying not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7, and I really wanted the same thing to happen this year. Not expected, of course. I didn't expect us to score 7. I expected us to score more than the 2 we did. And
to be fair, I think you could have.
I think we very well could have. I think there are so many chances that were just not. It's like if this was a Champions League final, I feel like those would have been in, right? Mm-hmm. But because we're just still in this okay, we're just going to be in the top 3 with Arsenal and City until the very end. There isn't this crazy foot on the gas where it's we could chop it. We can be done with this right now. I think this is all just going to build up to the final weekend. Maybe the last 2-3 weekends, maybe. I still think we're too far out to say, to have that mentality, which is crazy. And I don't blame Klopp for saying, if we play like this, Arsenal is going to beat Man United and Arsenal is better than us right now. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that on Sunday. Let me rephrase that. On Sunday, that statement could be made. Next weekend, totally different scenario. Who knows what happens? But yeah, let's just kind of go. Let's go step by step in this game. Got to be fun for a neutral, right?
Yeah. I also was hoping for just a blowout, just because I like to see United suffer.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that the goal differential was not too impacted, between this and the Sheffield game. As I said last episode, I was getting a little bit worried that the goal differential would be obliterated
right
over the 2 games. But yeah, I think this game as a neutral was fairly entertaining. I'd say probably more entertaining than Arsenal versus City. But started out hot, early little scare for Liverpool with the Garnacho offside goal.
For sure.
But then Szoboszlai came back right away and almost banged one in, if not for Onana. So
I know, that was a great save. Onana played great this game. I really do think he kept Man U in this. A lot of pressure on goal. It was just those just the chances, man. The it's not like the defense was spectacular by any means necessary by Man U. It was just Liverpool beat themselves. They had so many chances to cut the ball in. The one I saw with Nunez running, and he could have just passed the ball off to Szoboszlai. That was one that one hurts. Again, I think that's a hard pass to make. but I think it's possible. I think he could have. And then all the way up to Diaz at the very end, just hitting it too high, and it's like, oh my god, like
Diaz is like as a neutral, I think pretty frustrating to watch, and I think maybe more frustrating if you are a fan, because he's got the pace, he's got the dribbling, like his control is so good. When his shots are on, they're on, but like so often, at least this season, it seems like he's shooting wide, shooting high, not getting enough power on it, but he still gets into those great positions. So he's like almost the Darwin of his beginning at Liverpool, where he's in good positions, and that was kind of his whole game.
I think of it as we got two Darwins now, or two Diaz's now, and how you want to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they can, between the two of them at least, find if one's not shooting well that day, the other one needs to be shooting well that day. Like,
yep,
find the balance
for sure. So, when that 5v2 happened, I said it out loud. My in-laws heard me. Everyone heard me. I said, "Watch us mess this up." And like that's such a bummer right now. That's how I'm feeling of these counterattacks we're on, because they look great. They look amazing. We make the right passes.
How you want it, right?
We make the right passes.
Your whole attacking team is there,
and then we just don't finalize it. Yeah, we get all the way down there.
It almost like this one, I think, was just too many passes. Like no one wanted to just pull the trigger.
That's what I'm saying. No one has that like I don't know, just killer mentality right now. Unless it's Salah. I think Salah has that still, but he's got that means he has to get the ball every time.
Yeah.
And that I think it's easy for other teams to kind of just push out Salah, because he's really the only one they need to worry about at this point.
Sure, yeah.
So that makes it tough. Endo coming off too, I thought was a little bit of a surprise, because then it made McAllister kind of play a different role,
got pushed back again.
Yeah, which is like not
we
where
were just saying, like,
that's not
we
where we
liked him
want
up
him.
Forward.
and all these late game winners, it's either been McAllister shooting and winning it or assisting it. So
it's true.
I don't really know the Endo takeout. I don't know. I thought that was odd, especially because he's been playing 90 minutes pretty consistently. I don't have the numbers on when's the last time he didn't play 90, but I imagine he's been doing it kind of day in, day out. If you look down the list here of fixtures, he's had a good streak of 90s. So I don't know. I thought that was an interesting move by Klopp.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he was just feeling something, or Klopp was really thinking, we're going to go for this, but I don't know. I think Endo has just brought so much stability to that midfield, and then also provides a little bit more protection for the back line, that I think it's worth keeping him in there. And
for sure,
if you
he's not going to mess up. He's not going to mess up.
Yeah, like if you're trying to make a more attacking sub, then I think subbing out Szoboszlai I think is fine. I'd say you probably want to keep Darwin and Salah up there, because just their connection that they formed this year has been pretty good. So like Diaz, I guess, would be the other one you take out. But I think McAllister, you really just got to keep him forward and keep him up there, and kind of in that creator role. But also, he picks up those loose balls that just kind of pop up to the top of the box and can get it back in, if not, bang it in the top corner. So that was certainly a weird change.
Robertson looked great.
Robertson looked hungry. He
loved him on the left. Like this was the Robertson of old. He looked really good. He was whipping a lot of balls in. He even had a hard shot on goal too that I think got blocked. But that was my big summary of the game. I think I want to ask you more of like what you thought about the little things. The Kwanzaa mistake, that sucks. That hurts that it's him. I wish it was anyone else but him on this starting 11, to be honest. We need that guy, especially because he's definitely kind of the odd one out, right? To have his confidence high, and this is a damper. So we need Konate back, I think ASAP, which he should be coming back pretty soon.
I saw a lot of post-match comments like saying like, why are we playing Kwanzaa? We should have Konate there in this game. So yeah, I mean, I think if he was fully match fit, it probably would have been him. But you're kind of you're playing with the cards you're dealt. It's a mistake, yeah, but like it just reminded me of last season. Saliba, also young defender, also thrown into a lot of big games. I mean, now he's playing every game, but when he was first kind of coming into the team, made some mistakes, and it's always the same reactionary comments of like, well, he's not good enough, get him out the team, like he's costing us points. But it reminds me of an Arsene Wenger quote on the use of young players. He says, you pay for the education of young players with points. If I play a 20-year-old center back, I know he'll cost me points during the season, and I have to stand up for that. A less talented 28-year-old would cost me less points. However, by age 23, 24, you now have a player. So I think there's a lot of truth in that.
There is.
You got to let these guys kind of get in here, play. And yeah, they will make mistakes. Will he ever make a mistake like this again? Probably not.
Probably not.
It could
Probably
happen,
not.
but I think now he's gonna know, like, okay, like, regardless of how secure I feel, I gotta do my little scan real quick. See that the pass is safe to make, and put enough power on the pass. So a hard one to take for him, but hopefully, like, Liverpool club and fans can just kind of like, that sucks, too bad, sorry, but like, let's move forward.
Also, fantastic finish by Bruno. I mean, he could have easily missed that, and this would be a forethought. We wouldn't even be having a conversation about this right now.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I think maybe that falls to anyone else on United, and I don't know that they can hit it like that. So it's
You're honestly right. You look, I mean, maybe you never know. And so that's just one you just got to eat and roll with the next one. Now the Mainu shot, fantastic goal. I don't take anything away from him, but Kelleher was what I thought guarding that near post way too strong. He had to then run a long way to go cover the opposite end, and the way he was positioned and the way the near post was already being blocked, I didn't think he needed to be there. Of course, hindsight, you should have been further that way if they're not shooting near post. You just don't know. Fantastic finish. And then on our side, Diaz, great goal. What was up with Man U's defending there? What did you think of them not man marking and just playing on the post? I thought that was very bizarre.
Yeah, it struck me as just weird as well. Like, it was, Diaz, I think, does pretty good to. I think Wan-Bissaka was marking him initially. He does good to kind of like float away from him, but then there's just like a huge hole.
So much space. I couldn't believe it.
Like, and I get the ball didn't come directly to Diaz, so he got a little bit lucky in that. But either way, I think you can't allow a big hole in the back, or if you are going to play that game, whoever's kind of on your post then has to, I guess, come out to the ball, right? Like
a little bit more, yeah.
You can't just let that ball potentially fall to that player, and then it's a pretty straightforward goal at that point. He's basically in the goal, like.
Yeah, it was wide open, but and well deserved too. He's always running forward, but it felt like a gift in a way. And then the controversial PK. A lot of Man United hate for this one, and my thought, and I had to explain this already, was it wasn't the foul. It stopped Harvey from running after that ball, right? The whole point of that run he made was to get around the defender, and even though the defender didn't necessarily like take him out, he stopped him from going after that ball once he got past him. So it's tough. It is a PK. It was a stupid challenge. He caught his feet. Like, that's exactly what a PK is. I think people are just so used to seeing like brutal tackles in the box, right? They're like crunch, like they get crunched. Like, oh, that's a PK.
Yeah.
And this wasn't the case. He just prevented him from getting back to that ball. So I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's a dumb, clumsy tackle, and a risk you take when you go to ground and in the penalty box. Like,
yeah,
it's not the hardest challenge we'll ever see, but it was enough. And as we've already talked before, like fouls in the penalty box and fouls out of the penalty box, kind of there's a variance there in like what would be called. So like that happens outside the box, maybe doesn't get called, but you're playing the dangerous game and doing it in the box. And man, if I'm that United dressing room, I'm yelling at that guy. And Wan-Bissaka, like, what are you doing? Just you're already kind of,
man. Yeah, why did he do
like,
that?
he's being shown inside, so like you already have more support. You're already kind of still on him. Like it's not like he's free. So yeah, mistake, but good on Salah to get up there and just put it away, easy peasy. Were you nervous when Salah went up? I know his penalty record this year is a little bit wishy-washy.
I actually wasn't. I really liked the camera angle on this one, so I did like that. It just felt like his moment. Like he had to put this away. We couldn't lose that game, and I felt a lot better once we scored that goal. Man U's been our bogey team. Everyone has one, right? They've kind of been ours this season. Looking back, if we were in August and we said, "Hey, we have a chance at the title. We got Man U here. If we just draw them, we're going to be all right." I believe that to be true. A loss here would have been devastating. That's the mindset I have right now. We're still joint top of the league with you guys on goal differential. It's not like this changed a whole. This didn't change really much. It was a wake up call.
I'm more comfortable this weekend than last weekend.
Yeah,
so.
like the panic is not. This is not the time to panic. Yeah. Again, I still think out of the top 3 teams, whoever loses first, that's when you hit the panic button. So as we move forward here with our, what we got, 6 to 7 games for most of us. Mm-hmm. All of us have 7 right now for top 3, top 4 at that. As soon as someone loses, that's when I think everyone's going to have a different mindset. But if we all just keep drawing or winning at the same time, this isn't going to get wild until I think the last 3 games. I think 3 games to go is when you say, okay, we either need to go hard for the goal differential, right? Mm-hmm. Which is crazy they're not doing that now, but there's still so much time. I think it's hard to gauge that. Or if one of us loses.
Yeah. I mean, in the back of my mind, I'm just, Arsenal still in the Champions League. If they get through this round and City gets through their round, those 2 are playing each other next round.
Hope y'all beat each other up.
So that'll only play into Liverpool's favor.
Love it.
So it's like it's just a weird spot to be in, of like thinking you're kind of done with City for the year, but then you potentially still have them to deal with, but not even in Premier League. But like, you don't want to just be that far in Champions League and throw it away. You have to go for it. So, it's. I think you're right. It's either someone loses here and at least 2 of the teams feel better, or it's coming down to that final 2-3 weekends. And I mean, even then, it's a draw could be the difference at that point, which is wild to say. But I guess Liverpool's kind of been here before with chasing City and losing out just by a hair.
Yep.
Which I think will be the case this year. Hopefully between Arsenal and Liverpool, and City will just fade away. But
no, they ain't going nowhere. And I was looking up to the last time goal differential mattered, and it was the City Man United season.
Yes.
Roughly, what was that? 11 years ago, I believe it was 20.
Something like that, yeah.
20. No, it was about. I think it was 2011. So that last day, May 19th, I got that circles on my calendar, man. We're gonna make a day of it.
Yeah.
I'm pumped. We have the Wolves at home. You guys have Everton.
Sure. Everton, yeah.
And let me grab City really quick.
City.
West Ham.
West Ham, yeah. So by those games, I'd say City West Ham is maybe your toughest.
Everton don't want to get relegated.
But that's what I'm saying too, is Everton is as of right now safe.
Yeah.
But come that time could be right on the edge. So they'll be there's going to be some bodies flying everywhere.
I would be
some crazy tackles.
I would be the most scared to play Everton.
You think so?
I think so.
If it was away, I would be terrified. But since it's at home, I think Arsenal can probably do it. It just depends what do it means for the title in that case. Like, if it's a draw, I think it's possible. If it's, a win plus you need X amount of goals, now we're getting into crazy stressful times.
Oh, my God. I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun, but man, stressful.
It is going to be fun. I can't believe it's coming. It's right there. We're so close.
Coming up quick.
Yeah, other than what I just said about the game, though, I think Casemiro had a strong chance to earn himself a red card that game. That was kind of my one other note that just like, man, like what do we have to do to get to see a red card on another team right now?
Yeah, I feel like the refs, maybe not even across the board, but at least when it's these like big team games, they're just kind of letting everything go, because it as Anthony Taylor again, City and Arsenal game had a lot of fouls, and yeah, the only 2 yellows he gave were for time wasting, and like here you have some pretty big tackles, some repeat offenders, and still was like very hesitant to really hand the cards out.
Yep.
So I'm thinking it's probably from the top down of like, let these big showpiece kind of games just play out, and don't let them kill each other, but we don't want the game to be stale. So I get it, but at the same time, it's like it should be called the same throughout the whole season, regardless of who's playing. You
would think. I got a fun little sidebar here. As we were watching the game, Kristen pointed out, she's like, "Hey, that's that ref you guys hate, Anthony Taylor." And her parents look at her like this, and I was like, "That's how you know she's a fan. She knows the refs' names now." And that, I was like, "Name another sport where you know a ref's name." Like,
right?
Zero, none. And I just thought that made me proud, but at the same time, I was like, "Now you feel the pain." I was like, "Now that guy will stand out for the rest of your life." Every time he refs your game, you're like, "Anthony Taylor, you son of a bee." Yeah, her parents got a kick out of that. Gave them all a high five on the most solid PK.
Nice.
They said, "We're going to go on a walk. We don't want to be here when they lose." And I was like, okay. I was like, it's not like things are going to go bad here. But I was like, but I understand.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, yeah. All right, we got Palace this weekend. I think that's a good bounce back game for us, even though Palace has been looking
yeah.
I think it's a good one to come back on.
Yeah, I think you being at home, it should be a good bounce back game.
And Alisson, Jota, and Trent are all at least set to come back this weekend, which is even better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. I feel like we have a lot of depth right now too. So It's like Keller has been playing pretty damn good. It's like, do we want to bring Alisson back right now? Like, I don't know. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know if he's like really not 100% match fit. I think you don't even bother. Like, Kelleher's doing fine. But I think you probably do go back to Alisson when he's ready.
Probably. Jota and Trent, though, as soon as they're ready, let's go. Slot them in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if it's not starting, even super subs, whatever we got to do, I'm cool with that. I think if we would have had Jota or Trent this weekend, huge difference.
For sure, yeah.
So, all right, that's my 20 minutes on Liverpool. I think I can give it up now, but the race is still on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, should we jump to your boys?
Sure, yeah. I think both games that happened this week against Luton and Brighton could have been a little trappy, but came through okay. Luton game ended up just being kind of run of the mill,
which is
best
nice.
part was best part was seeing Smith Rowe get the start and contribute pretty well. Big tackle to set up that first goal, and the quote unquote assist on the own goal.
Yeah.
So good to see him out there. I want to see more of him. I think he should be that left midfield, and can kind of provide left wing support if needed. But I think he's just one of those like fan favorites that unfortunately is kind of on the fringe of the squad. But Arteta keeps coming out and saying that he really likes how he plays and how he contributes and all this stuff. So hopefully we'll see more of him in these final few weeks. But the Brighton game, I wasn't too worried. I'm normally worried about going away to Brighton, but with how Brighton has been, I was feeling pretty good. I was surprised though. Their last home loss was August 23rd. They lost 3-1 to West Ham. A lot of draws in between there.
I heard that stat, and I didn't believe it when I heard it.
Neither did I. So I looked it up, and it's true. A lot of draws,
wow.
though. So like it's not super fortress, but yeah, caught me off guard a little bit. So like I read that stat like I don't know the day before the game, and then I was like, okay, well now I am a little bit nervous. But yeah, I think Brighton I think started well, had maybe a shot or two early on, but then I think Arsenal just kind of got into their rhythm and started to control the game, and then Jesus picks the ball up on the wing and drives just kind of towards the box, and I think it just freaked Lamptey out, and he just throws in a weird, almost like the Wan-Bissaka thing, just a weird, clumsy tackle.
Right?
Like
you didn't have to do that.
Yeah,
do anything
didn't
else.
have to do that, but yeah, I mean, we take those, But then I think like play of the game is Jorginho occupying the right wing spot.
Yeah, what was up with that?
Well, I think they're just kind of in their rotations, and then Saka goes down hurt, and I don't know, Jorginho saw the space, I guess, and makes the run and gets the ball and puts it into Kai, and Kai Havertz he's doing it. He's our striker.
What a bizarre turn of events for y'all to have Jorginho up there, and when that happened, was Saka even on the pitch?
Yeah, he was on the pitch, but he was down hurt off of a foul, or maybe a foul. I don't know if it would have been called.
Oh yeah, I recall this. Yep.
Yeah, so I think that played into it because that space where he was on the ground was a little bit vacated, which left a huge passing lane. So benefited from that for sure, but it's just fun to see Jorginho in a spot where he should probably never be. But yeah, it ended up being pretty straightforward again. Trossard gets a nice goal against his former club.
Yep.
I'm surprised he didn't do his binocular celebration. He just went with the like, "Are you not entertained?"
Yeah, I kind of like that. I won't lie. It was like he didn't want to do a full celebration right in front of Brighton, but they kind of left on bad terms. So I don't really blame him if he wanted to do that. That's okay.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like your Jota. If you had a Jota, that's your he hasn't been there that long, right? Just the year. Almost a little more than a calendar year.
January, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe another year or two if he keeps scoring these goals late. Just nice. A little more insurance. Just tack him on.
Certainly a good option to have. I don't think he'll take over Martinelli's starting position, but with Martinelli, he's been coming back from a cut on his foot, so Trossard's gotten more game time, and I think he looks pretty good. Apparently it was a pretty deep cut on top of his foot.
How?
I don't know. I guess from a tackle. I don't know. But enough that it kept him out. A game, maybe two, and then or he came off the bench in the second one, I think. But it's a good away win. Arsenal's run-in schedule, I think, is probably looks the most difficult between the three of us. Still got, Tottenham away is big. United away should be kind of straightforward, but United is that weird, like, I don't know if I call it lucky. I don't know if I call it, like, I don't know. They got that weird thing about them where they can just, like, kind of pull a result out. So, it's certainly not, like I said, I'm not feeling any better this week than I did last week. It's just good to get the wins where we can, and in this case, add 3 more to the goal differential. But plenty of games to come, and then the Champions League in there as well. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do.
I think you're right. I think you do have the hardest schedule out of the 3. Unfortunately, I think City has the easiest, but they have, I think, the 2 hardest opponents that they got to go through. I think, Chelsea, please, we're all begging you. This is the time, man. This is the time. And if you don't, do you got anything more to say about Arsenal? If not, I do want to jump to Chelsea.
Good for it.
Chelsea, you came off a crazy victory this week. A victory we cheered for you. We were happy for you. We said, Chelsea, you were actually looking like you could be a top 10 team in this league. And they were. They still are.
Yeah.
Chad, they were going to be 3 points behind Man United if they took this game from Sheffield. But they decided
right there.
They decided they were going to draw it. And I couldn't believe they lost this game. They didn't lose it, but they lost it.
Yeah.
Could you believe they drew Sheffield after beating United?
Oh. It almost looked like...
What is this, dude?
It kind of looked like they gave so much energy against United that they just were a little bit flat against Sheffield, or gotten into the mindset of just like, it's Sheffield, we will win easy.
That's what I think it was. That's what I think it was.
Very well could be.
They wanted to beat United. They wanted to beat United.
Yeah.
They didn't really want to beat Sheffield.
No, yeah, and it's such a bummer because, like you said, they could have went from being stranded in mid-table like they have been all season to like, they could potentially, get into Europe here. Like,
they still weirdly can, but my belief in them has dropped so much in 4 days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think, we've been talking about Cole Palmer, especially against United. We were saying, like, this is the guy for Chelsea. Like, he's the one that is kind of carrying this team. And in the past few weeks, we've just kind of paid attention to just like his shot creating actions, and they've been like double digits for multiple games. Against Sheffield here, only 4 shot creating actions. So he was quiet, meaning the whole team, I think, is quiet.
Yeah.
So, as much as I think the win against United, Pochettino maybe thought like, oh, cool, we got the team going, everyone's playing good, fighting, for the win and all that. I think you're clearly not out of the woods yet with this Chelsea team.
He thought job safe on Thursday, then Sunday hit, and he said, "Oh my God,
yeah,
this is not the game that you let slip." Oh, Sheffield.
Yeah, they look I think better compared to how they have been all season, but still not good enough to give Chelsea this much trouble and steal a draw. So tough one to take for sure, especially to like give up a goal so late.
Shame on them.
But on that, like, I you see it at the games all the time. I see it at the Sac Republic games. Like, people just leave matches early because, I don't know, they don't want to fight the traffic or whatever. But like, here you have Sheffield, who's been struggling all season, pull out a almost last minute draw against Chelsea, which, like, you've got to feel stupid when you get home and then you're like, oh, we drew that game and it was like a late winner. Like, would have been fun to be there. Like, just stay the whole game. It's fine.
Man. I know. This is why I don't like even baseball games, bro. I'll sit till the ninth inning.
Yeah,
but like, you never know. You know.
Pay for that ticket anyway. Like, get your full money's worth.
And you knew that time. You knew the time frame, especially in footy, man, when it's 90 minutes.
And this season, when there's been like the extended added time, and we've seen so many goals in the added time, like, just mistake to leave early. And like I said, Sheffield wasn't even looking that bad on the day, so like, it's not like you're watching them get just destroyed.
Yep.
So I don't know. Just stay the whole game.
Freaking fair weather fans.
Yeah.
Bunch of plastics. Chad, I hate backtracking. I'm going to backtrack for 2 seconds here.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Just a quick Man United tidbit, and I think we can talk about them just because Chelsea was close to Man United in the table here. Mm-hmm. They have played the most backline combinations in the EPL this season. Any guesses on how many different combinations they've used?
I'm
gonna grab a brew while you just take 2 seconds to think about it.
Yeah. I don't even know. I want to say like 9 different variations.
26.
How?
Isn't that incredible?
You're playing almost a different back line every game?
Almost. And think about it, though. If we go back to the start of the season, we had Varane, Martinez. I think Wan-Bissaka was there. Dalot was there, too. But then it jumped to the Maguire, Johnny Evans. And then it just exploded from there. I think they had a combined 58 injuries, too. Multiple players, or the same players, but that just goes to show how much disorganization they've really had in that back line. So when I look at them in 6th, I give them a little bit more, just a smidge more. I mean, like, okay, they had to go through a lot of stuff to get to that position. Maybe they are okay in that position. And Chelsea, they're still only 5 points away from them, which is wild. So I'm just trying to think. Chelsea has not that many injuries this year. There hasn't been too many people going down. Take away Reece, because that's just a common one. Take away Silva, just because he's kind of the old man on campus. Chelsea doesn't have an excuse to not be up there. And I know we've definitely said that, but this game, man, this game just frustrates me for them. Because of the week they had.
Yeah. They definitely were on such a high after that United game, and you would want to ride that into future games, and especially Sheffield right after. Like, you would think, we put 4 past United, and Cole Palmer with his first senior hat trick, like, just feed him the ball against Sheffield, and he'll get another hat trick. And I think it's probably just kind of underestimating the competition, but a real bummer.
Just get your shit together for City.
Yeah, please.
If they play up to their opponent, which I feel like that's just the squad they are, especially after drawing Burnley 2 this week, they just like to play to the same level as what their opponent wants to play. So
pretty much.
That's my big goal for them. All right, should we get to all the other fun stuff here?
Yeah, jump in.
James Madison punching another player and not getting kicked out. What do you think of this?
Lucky, I think.
Yeah, lucky. Incredibly lucky. Why? So VAR, you see Madison openly punch someone.
Uh-huh.
The ref says, "Come on over. Let's have a chat about it." They shake hands. No big deal. What are we doing? What are we doing when a player can openly punch someone? It's a punch.
Yeah.
It's a punch.
It certainly is a punch.
And nothing?
I mean, I just think back to, Newcastle versus Arsenal and Bruno going in the back of Jorginho with his elbow.
God.
Like, it's these what should be clear, obvious red cards, violent conduct. Like, it doesn't make any sense how you get away with that with, just a little don't do it.
It doesn't make any sense though. Like what in what context is this okay?
I mean, it's not. That's the thing. Like, there's no way to really argue for why this wasn't carded.
Well, with that, Tottenham is now in top 4.
Yes.
Which we all have to freaking soak that in, which I really don't want to. Aston Villa, man, how do you get 70 stats on this? 70% possession against Brentford, and you draw 3-3. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. I think over this last little bit for Villa, where they've been in this weird little funk, and then especially watching their game against City and then watching their game against Brentford, they just don't seem to have that real fight and fire about them anymore, like at the start of the season that they had. I don't know if they're just getting tired. I know they've missed a few people through injury and suspension in these past couple weeks, but you built up to this game against City and Arsenal middle of the season and showed up and did what you need to do, and then here you go, yes, away to City this time, so a little bit different beast, but mentally it should already be we've already taken it to this team before and shown that we can do it.
They conquered that beast. They did.
Yeah.
And then they said
there was nothing. They offered nothing, against City. And then okay, Brentford's been in a rough spot this season. Plenty of big injuries. They're finally getting some people back. And again, okay, Villa comes out, gets some good goals early, and then just kind of they were just done. They were just good with that. Yeah.
They just forgot.
Yeah. It's incredible for Brentford to make that comeback.
For sure. Smooth. They made it look easy. It made it look so ezy. 3 goals, just bam,
that's
bam, bam.
Thing too. It didn't even feel like they were. They had to try that hard.
They didn't even struggle. No, it was mind-boggling, dude. It really was. Yeah. And Villa's so lucky that they were able to get that third, and at least get a point out of this. But oh my God, this team, man, it's driving me crazy. Just because when they beat City and Arsenal in December, were they top of the league? If they weren't, they were number 2, right?
They were, I think they were close. I don't think they were top then. But they definitely had their period there. But it's gotta hurt for Emery and those players to, look at your position in the table throughout the season. Not locked in for top 4, but making a really strong push for it. And now, you failed to show up against Tottenham, your closest rival in this top 4 race. You a 1-1 against West Ham. You know, decent results away from home, but I think you should probably be able to put West Ham away. You know, okay, you did Wolves. City game, yeah, didn't really show up. Villa game, you showed up, but for half the game, if that, and then you know Brentford comes back and takes some of the points off you. So if they stay out of the top four, it's all by their own doing.
Mm-hmm.
Even with some of the injuries and stuff around the squad, like they've just given up their fight and desire, I think, to be top four.
It's weird, dude. It's weird. They had it all.
Mm-hmm.
They really did. Are they the only team to beat City and Arsenal? They gotta be, right?
Probably.
Liverpool didn't do it. Tottenham has a chance.
Yeah, Tottenham has a chance.
Man United won't do it. West Ham can do it. Have y'all played West Ham twice?
I think so. Pretty sure.
Was that second time in December or January? God, when was that? When did West Ham look like a
no more West
team?
Ham.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we played them. Oh yeah, February 11th. Put 6 past them.
Oh, that's right. God damn, that was brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I think Villa's probably the only one. I mean, yeah, Tottenham still has the chance.
Chelsea could be the one too.
Could be Chelsea.
I think that's it though.
So I mean, yeah, they I guess have just gotten tired throughout the season and don't have good rotation options. I don't know, but a bummer to see them kind of throwing their top 4 dreams away.
They're in it. They're a Europa team.
Oh, certainly. Like I don't think they would have went far in Champions League next season, but you know,
I think they could win Europa. Isn't that kind of crazy though? I think they could win Europa. You put this team in Europa today.
Yeah, I mean it's a good shout. You know, it's it's a quality team. You know, Emery is historically pretty good in Europa. So
if they make Europa, Chad, let's do a little like money match. Let's go like $20 each, and let's make them putting them in like the final.
All right.
That's Emery's DNA. That's what he does.
Exactly.
And I wish he would have treated the second half like he did the first half, because that's how they would have. That's how they would have come away. All right. Hey, I want to talk about the Wolves. The ending of the Wolves game. That was some a little bit of controversy because their defender was standing in the way of the keeper, and they deemed him offside, which took that lovely point away from them. And you know, we saw this with Liverpool, right? Same idea. This one, I don't know, dude. It's like he started onside and then the shift happened. I understand you're supposed to pay attention to the back line, but at the same time, he can't. He doesn't even play the ball. He doesn't know where the defenders are. Like, whose fault is that? And then it's just the little things like this kind of just drive me crazy. Am I crazy for thinking that he was in the wrong there? Like, whose fault? Like, is that his? I don't recall who that was back there.
I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, it's just one of those weird ones. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't really know what you're supposed to do there. Like, you're just kind of there occupying that space because, yeah, the play was kind of moving that way, and then it shifts, and now you're in, I guess, a bad spot. But like, what are you supposed to do?
I don't know. It's shitty. It's just VAR has done things that just, I don't know, man. It's like if it weren't for VAR, this would have been fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't have been an
Definitely.
issue. It's just the line of sight stuff is just weird. I just don't really get it when you're not purposely blocking the keeper. For all we know, he wasn't blocking the keeper.
Yeah,
The keeper
that's
could
the
just
thing.
lie.
It's so hard to say, what the keeper's actually looking at. It's easy to, okay, well, his head is here, so his vision is in this direction, but like you can look past people if you're like, super focused on the ball or something, or the play beyond it, like, and it'd be fine. So yeah, I don't really know what you're really supposed to do in that situation. Like, it's, I think, a little bit, again, keepers need to be a little bit tougher and be able to kind of compete with that box out that's happening against them. Like, I think that Fabianski just kind of lets whoever that is kind of just be in his space and not even block him necessarily, but is in his space, right? Like, you got to command your area, and I think that's maybe a just a lack of command, right? Like, are you impeded? I don't.
That's what I'm saying. Is he really messing with you? Is he really messing up what you need to do?
I don't think so. I mean, watching it back again now, and like I'm watching like the VAR slow mo, and Fabianski's already kind of shifting to the other side of the goal by the time the header happens. So regardless, does he not only get to the ball, but does he like really make a good save effort at it? I don't know that you do, because you're already kind of shifting the opposite way.
And when that play started, he was onside. It's even borderline close when he heads the ball, if he's onside or not. It's close, man. It's really close. It's so unfortunate. That's all it was, and
yeah,
it's just one of those things. This is even more egregious than the Salah one, just because the play is a little bit closer, and there was literally nothing he could do.
No,
it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Although we did get a James Ward-Prowse Olympico.
Oh my God, how pretty was that?
Now, I haven't looked this up to confirm, but I saw a tweet saying this is still the goal that Messi has not done. So James Ward-Prowse potentially has one over Messi.
Are you kind of surprised we just don't see that more?
A little bit. I mean, I think, especially now with corners being what they are, where like teams have like kind of defined plays and everything, I think a lot of the focus gets put out onto those players that head the ball in, as it normally would. So I would think, every once in a while, just swing one in, see if the keeper's really paying attention to the trajectory of the ball. Like,
movement's tricky.
Yeah, and especially James Ward-Prowse, the guy can already bang a free kick in. You tell him every quarter, that's a free kick for you.
It reminds me of the Happy Gilmore hole-in-one shot. He's like, I can just do that on one shot? It's like, why didn't you tell me I could do that the first time? And
exactly.
I mean, I don't know. I would go for it more. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, I know Douglas Luiz from Villa has, I think, maybe 2.
Really?
I think so. I know he has one for sure. I don't know if the other one ended up going in, but he's definitely tried a few times. And it was kind of like his thing when he would take corners for a second. Like even commentators would bring it up like every time he was kicking corners. So, I don't know that he's tried recently, but yeah, why just give it a go? Like, why not?
Yeah,
players are moving in front, distracting the keeper. I mean, especially now if you're putting someone on the keeper to box him out anyway. Like he'll be kind of focused on getting away from that. I don't know. You might have a chance.
Yeah, I'm seeing the stat right here of Messi scoring 800 goals, but he hasn't scored one of those. That's funny. Funny. Well, West Ham gets a crucial 3 points. Slightly undeserved. I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it. But they're kind of, I think, solidifying where they want to be. I think 7th is fair. There's no way they're catching Villa, right?
I wouldn't think so. If they catch Villa, it's, through West Ham winning, but also Villa just completing their downfall themselves. Because
very possible.
It's possible. I don't think they'll let it get that bad, but yeesh.
Okay, well they got Arsenal next.
Mm-hmm.
Loss. Chalk it. Loss. Bournemouth. Maybe.
Home or away?
They're home for Bournemouth.
Okay.
Like maybe. They're home for Chelsea. Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah.
They're away for Brighton. Maybe. They're home for Liverpool. Probably not.
Yeah.
And then they're away for Palace, which honestly, dude, last game of the season, maybe. Chad, there's a chance they fuck this up all the way down.
Eesh. Yeah.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah, there's no game in there where I would feel like confident going in that you're going to get the win.
No, not at all. Not one.
Bournemouth is maybe the closest, but Bournemouth has looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Where Villa has, been shaky now for a little bit.
Bournemouth's been hot. Honestly, they kind of had Luton fine. If they would have drew Luton, they would have they wouldn't have lost in their last 5, which, hey, credit to Luton, man. They haven't won a game since January.
Big 3 points for them.
Huge 3 points. This is the 3 points that they needed. They're so close to getting out of relegation.
I think they're going to do it.
I think so too. I'm a big believer. I think Forest is the one that's going.
Yeah. Forest, I think right now is just kind of riding on Chris Wood scoring some goals.
And that'll probably end, right?
Yeah. Whereas, Luton, they're still so good about fighting for the wins. I think getting a little bit smarter when they have a lead, but still obviously not their comfort zone. But I think right now, I think the motivation's going to be so easy for Luton's staff with all the players. Here's the table. We're level on points with Forest. Even Everton's just 2 points ahead of us. Just you got to go out there, give it your all. Are you going to do it against City away? I hope so. Probably won't. But
I'm curious how they play that game. I really am.
Yeah, that could be it.
A learning experience game. Let's just see how to play against a team as good as City, and take it in, take the result however you want to take it, and then go right into Brentford with it. Right?
Yeah.
If I'm the coach, that's what I'm telling my team. I don't care about the result this weekend. Win, loss, draw, whatever. Let's just try to match up against them. Let's play our game and do the best that we can. But Brentford next week, we that's the game we need to commit to.
Yeah, that's probably the smart way to do it, because to try and plan for a win away at City is
waste of time.
Waste of time. Yeah.
Be honest with your team, please.
Yeah, I think at the most of that preparation will just be to let in as few goals as possible. But I think yes, while Brentford's not City level, they're certainly more experienced and have some good players available now. So yeah, I think you probably nailed it right on the head of just let's take this in, learn from it, and then let it all out versus Brentford, and hopefully roll that into Wolves. That Luton Everton game though on May 3rd, that's gonna be a big one. I think
it's a big one. And on the flip side of this, Forest gets to play Burnley and Sheffield in the next 6 games. So that's pretty crucial too for all teams. If Forest drops both those games, okay, Burnley goes to 22, Sheffield goes to 19. Then and just say it happened right now, Forest stays at 25. That turns into a 4-team race to the bottom, which is kind of what we want. If Everton sticks around, which could happen, which I still think it will happen. I don't know, man. Everton could be that team again like last year when they're in 17th or 16th place, and it's like they needed to win that game to make sure they didn't drop into 18th. Like that could be a scenario again. I want to make sure I have my table right though. Are they at 29 points?
They're at 27.
Okay.
So
who scored hasn't updated for me, so they're
the 2-point deduction is accurate on the. I mean, I just searched it on Google, and their table's always
so they're sitting
accurate.
in 16th.
Yeah, 16th on 27 points, 2 above Forest and Luton. So
wow,
it's tight down there. Everton has Forest to play, has Luton to play, has Sheffield to play. So that whole bottom 16 down all kind of play each other in some way or another. So we'll see. Someone needs to just like take the reins of that and say like, nope, we're getting out of here. And I hope it's Luton. I really like them. I like their coach.
Me too, man.
He seems to know his squad and like where they're at, but like also be pretty good about building them up for these games and trying to get something from them. So we'll see.
We will see. Fulham, Newcastle. Fulham, I don't know. They didn't want to win.
It was just nice to see Fulham not give up 3 goals in the first half, because
that was a trend.
You did that against Forest earlier in the week, and you gave up 3 the week before. Like, they just, I don't know, weird team right now.
Yeah,
but not too much going on in the Newcastle game for them, unfortunately.
And honestly, the Castle game, they got kind of lucky with that Bruno run up, just wide open.
Yeah.
One blunder, and that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, giving up only 1 against Newcastle, I think, is pretty good for how Luton has been playing, or Fulham has been playing. So, a loss, but you move. And
then our other game that we didn't really need to talk about it that much. It was Palace and City. Wonder goal by Kevin De Bruyne. Two of them, honestly.
Yeah,
both those goals are freaking fantastic. They made my goal of the week nomination. I don't know which one is better. Do you have a favorite out of the two?
Between the two?
Yeah.
I think I like his first one like a little bit more. But I mean, yeah, both were great hits.
If I had to argue the second one, he was like flat-footed and he hit it with his left, right?
I think so, yeah.
So that's that man's weak leg.
Yeah, and it was just so just like a quick like split second, like you're kind of floating in that space, and then ball is here, and then Roger just lays it off, and you're just like, all right, here I am shooting.
Crazy, man.
So also great, but I think that first goal, like, just love the kind of curl from the corner of the box like that.
Yep. I don't disagree.
I did have a VAR question on this one, though. You see Gvardiol kind of run through Eze?
I didn't.
So Eze's kind of sitting on the back line. Ball is crossed into him. Gvardiol kind of comes in to defend and defends the ball, but like also kind of is a little bit handsy on Eze.
A little?
Yeah. And it got kind of just like shoved away like it was nothing. And the commentators keep saying if Eze attempts to head that ball, it's a PK.
So my question would be, how is he supposed to attempt to head it when he's got a dude on his back? Oh, Chad, you got to see this. If you haven't seen the screenshot of Palace's coach versus Pep,
No.
this was I'm gonna close this really quick to send it to you. This is right at the moment of contact. Pep, no reaction, which means they were in the wrong.
He knows. Yeah. So
this is,
that
I got one more. Sorry, I got one more.
But it looked like something where you need. Oh yeah, Pep is for sure like fuck. What did we just do that? But for real, like it didn't seem like it got paid that much attention to for some reason. And I guess Eze doesn't necessarily attempt to play the ball, but the ball's coming to him, so he doesn't really need to make a move for it, right? Like if he wants to just let that ball come to him and take it down as it comes to him, then so be it. But for Gvardiol to come in kind of that hard and I think Eze maybe makes a little bit more of it than it should have been, but I don't know. I think you have a strong argument that it could still be a pen.
I'm shocked that wasn't a pen. That's crazy. That's really crazy. And you made me go back into my mental notes. In the Sheffield game, I'm sorry, was it Sheffield? O'Shea got a red card. What game was that? What game am I
Burnley? Burnley, yeah.
It was Burnley this
against
weekend?
Everton?
Yes.
Yeah.
Michael Oliver couldn't have pulled that red card out any faster. And I was like, okay, but the guy who has studs in his chest, I don't know. I don't know, Chad. I'm not even gonna look at it. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy how like just reactionary some of these officials have been, and or non-reactionary in this case.
Yeah. So it hurts. I even if that's called a penalty and Crystal Palace scored, I don't know if it changes the outcome really, but I think they got away with one here, at least in this foul and penalty.
What minute did that happen at?
40 something, I think.
So you go into halftime 2-1?
Yeah, 44.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you go into half at 2-1. Can you hang on to the lead? I don't know, but
probably not. Like, just probably not.
Probably
right?
not. But I mean, you got to call the game fairly, and I think that's a fair foul to call.
That's crap, dude. That's such crap.
Yeah.
Ay, City, you driving me crazy. All right, Chad, did we get all our games in? I think we did.
All the important ones, I'd say.
Yeah, Everton Burnley. I guess we really didn't talk too much about, but nothing really. I guess Calvert-Lewin got really lucky with his. I guess
look, he just watched Darwin do it midweek. Right. He said, "I'm going to do that too," and there you go.
For that to be the only goal in that game, though, dude, Everton. I'm sorry, you barely deserve this win. Barely. Shout outs to Mario from Nottingham Forest for almost scoring a how many yards would that have been? It's almost 70-yard banger.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that. That was so close. I cannot believe how hard he kicked that ball.
Yeah. He just put all his power into that thing and just...
I can't even fathom how much muscle that takes.
Oh,
My leg would snap.
For sure, yeah.
And not even get to like half.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
I don't get these dudes' quads. They're just built different. All right, Chad, let's get to our nominations.
Yeah.
Well, I really wanted to give City my Team of the Week nomination. I'm sorry, Palace my nomination, but they didn't get the job done. So, with that, I'm going to give it to Luton.
Okay, yeah. I had Luton down as well. I had Chelsea after the Man United win, but then to throw a stinker against Sheffield was kind of took them out of the running for me. So,
Yep.
but I mean, yeah, Luton getting a big win against a Bournemouth side that's been pretty good and still had a lot of good chances in that game, I think. So,
right.
I'm down with Luton to.
That's kind of the only one that stands out to me. It's like, okay,
yeah,
Tottenham beat Forest fine. The draws are all like.
Yeah, like I considered Brentford for the comeback, but like
yeah, me too.
to come back and just be draw, it doesn't have that same impact as if it were the win.
The West Ham victory feels fake. City's whatever. Arsenal, it's like I expected it.
Yeah,
so Luton was the one. Just the late game winner was sick. Love the late game winners.
That's nice. That's nice.
Player who you got?
I got a few over the week here. Shouting out Gibbs White for his game against Fulham, goal and assist there. Foden with his hattie against Villa, but again, Villa just like they weren't fighting.
Folded.
Palmer, I think, is my pick against United.
Yep.
He did a lot. He scored, the last 2 goals. De Bruyne against Palace had a good day, but it's Palace, so you should be doing okay there. Watkins with the 2 goals, he'd been quiet for a while, so
Crucial. Which that first one though, I need to go back and look at that more. I think did that really go in? Did you see it? Did you see the?
I did, yeah, I watched it.
But did you see the goal line tech?
Oh no, I didn't.
I didn't either. That's why I'm like, did it actually happen?
Well, hopefully, because they counted it.
I was looking at it and I was like, I don't think that did it. And then when they got the notification, they still didn't show it. So I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Palmer's the pick. He's done so much for that Chelsea team and yeah, was lackluster against Sheffield, but I just liked that against United, he gets that late penalty to tie the game, and you saw he scored that penalty and he didn't look satisfied. He wanted the win. And,
for sure.
It's especially in that Chelsea team, nice to see someone with that kind of fight. And third goal you get his third goal and the winning goal, you get a little bit lucky with the deflection, but United didn't want to defend the short corner for whatever reason. So
goal's a goal.
Goal's a goal. And Jordan was right there, got to see it all.
Gave Jordan a show.
So, yeah, we appreciate that.
Thank God they did, dude. That would have been. Yeah. I'm so happy for Jordan. That would have been.
Yeah.
Man, can you imagine going to 2 games and just seeing your team just bottle one against a bottom feeder team, and then just Man United? It was looking that way.
It was looking that way for sure.
It was really close, dude. It was close. And now he hit like game of the year potential game of the year.
Yeah.
With a lot of angry Man U fans. So, yeah, I like Cole Palmer too. I think that kid's a stud. I think Chelsea needs to do better and make sure they can put a good team around him.
Yeah, for sure.
For Chelsea's fans' sake.
Yeah.
All right, for goals, Chad. I got my list here. Both of Kevin De Bruyne's goals, love them. And Bumo, nice little goal this weekend. Welcome back, sir. Good to see you. I really like Trossard's goal. And then Edouard from Palace. That little it didn't mean much. Kind of late goal.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't include it is consolation.
You put that in the first 20 minutes of a game. He's celebrating much different. He looked like he was sad, honestly, when he scored it.
Yeah,
like, why
maybe,
try?
Yeah, maybe a little bit of like what could have been.
I know. I was like, damn it, man. My number one's James Ward-Prowse, dude.
Yeah, I think we have to.
It's gotta be.
You don't see it enough to overlook it. my other shout outs there are going to be Van de Ven had a pretty nice shot from top of the box.
What a rocket.
Yeah.
What a rocket.
Yeah, great hit. Mainu's goal was very nice. And then we already kind of did, but I got to shout out Darwin's little butt goal there.
Yep. Which is, did you see where he was looking when he made contact with that?
No.
He was looking all the way down at his goal.
He said, "Yo, Kelleher, watch this."
So I saw it funny. It was like the only person to score a goal while not looking at literally the exact opposite way of the goal he's scoring at. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah, that was pretty sick. We got to give Bruno Fernandes the shout too for the finish.
Yeah.
But James Ward-Prowse, we love it.
Yeah, he's not had the big free kick year that we maybe would have expected, but
yeah, only one, I think.
You might as well add this to his free kick tally. It basically was. So
I don't know, do it again. If you can do it twice, if you can do it again in the next 6 games.
Now, yeah, if you're James now, are you trying again?
David, please. What do you say? Please.
Yeah,
believe me.
At least you get a couple of corners a game, right? So
now, okay. Let's end on this. Do you think he did it on purpose?
I don't know, because you watch it and it's a close. The ball's close to the goal, but it also loops perfectly into that corner.
I'm gonna say no. He didn't do it on purpose.
I don't think so.
Follow-up question: do you think he does this again on purpose?
And that's what I'm saying. I think now
it's a yes.
Give it a shot.
It's a yes. It's a for sure yes. We will see this. You know what, Chad? I'm paying so close attention to West Ham's next game. Fulham on the weekend. For sure he'll do it against Fulham.
Oh, Burn Leno. He doesn't like coming out to claim crosses. That is the game to do it.
Okay. You heard it here first. Chad, it has been a pleasure.
Always.
I'll see you back here in a week, and hopefully we're all still top of the league. I hope.
We'll just link arms and go to the end together.
Follow me down the yellow brick road. And with that, the Hooligans pitch route. Peace.